One of my motorcycles has a deposit on it, and it's likely sold, although I'll not count my chickens before they're hatched. Once it's sold, I'll release the video explaining my decision and the new direction I'd like to go in, while perhaps attempting to placate the few out there that may take my decision personally. I don't really care what others think. You get to a certain age and it just sort of happens. But I do think the reactions to videos are interesting. I know there will be lots of support for moving on in a new direction by many viewers of this channel, even those who own the same bike that I'm selling. But equally, I will be surprised if there isn't some blowback or abuse from a few more casual viewers to the channel who come to the channel to see their bike. Choosing a new bike is less offensive than selling one for a different make or model. Pointing out issues with a bike is even more controversial, I've found. Having done some videos that suggest that many of my previous or current bikes and others that I've tested are not perfect and needed a change here or there, I have received comments ranging from critiquing my lack of hand strength, apparently me feeling the clutch can be too firm on the V-Strom if stuck in traffic for hours causes some angst in some people, or have been called names for suggesting that the Kawasaki ran too lean or the Guzzi had a flat spot. The list goes on. It just sums up how attached we get to our bikes. For some, I suspect, their bike choice is a validation. Usually, after a lot of consideration, we make a choice and purchase a motorcycle that reflects our personality, taste, stage of life, or aesthetic. In most cases, there's no buyer's remorse and the choice makes perfect sense almost immediately. We're happy with it. We may believe it reflects our character and perhaps, to some extent, our identity. So when a reviewer casts aspersions on our choice of bike on a video or questions the validity of our decision, it can be tempting to take that personally. After all, to question our choice is perhaps to tell us we made a mistake or that we're foolish. To put a lot of time and love into making your ride the perfect ride for you, and then someone else tells you it's not all it's cracked up to be, well, that's got to be tough. The key here, though, is the words "for you." We're all different. Then, of course, there's brand loyalty. This, for me, is unfathomable. As consumers, we have a duty to make sure we don't give a pass to manufacturers if they produce a lemon. Just because we generally like their bikes does not mean that we should support them no matter what. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who are very brand loyal. Right now, I'm riding through some massive Sitka spruce trees. Some of them are thousands of years old and hundreds of feet high. You can't help but be impressed by them. The folklore and the mythology around them is epic. You'll hear people tell you they're like arboreal cathedrals, bastions of reverence, almost wise and sage arbiters of truth. And perhaps they are. It's easy to be humbled in their shadows. But remember, like some huge YouTubers out there and their brand loyal brigade, they're also stuck in the mud. I've never understood brand loyalty. I have brand affection. That is, I enjoy the history and characteristics of some brands more than others, but I would never consider limiting myself to one brand or make or model of motorcycle. I'm not getting a Suzuki tattoo just because I've always had one in the stable. It's just that to me, they've been good value for money, reliable, and easy to work on. I feel a connection to Kawasaki because I have generally found them to be exciting and well made. Kawasaki offers some unique bikes. The W650 was launched well before the Hinckley Bonneville ever got to the retro party. The racetrack-only supercharged H2R is unique and doesn't pretend to be the fastest, it simply is. Eat your heart out, Ducati. But that doesn't mean I'm going to get a Kawasaki tattoo either. Kawasaki have their share of bland econo sleds too, designed to get buyers through the doors. Every brand has that line. For Ducati, it's their Scrambler series. For Harley, it's the RH1250, and before that it was the Street 750, made to attract buyers to the brand. I'm not a fan of any of them. I've even owned one of those. But there are plenty of bikes in the Ducati range I would have in a heartbeat. Sure, I feel an affinity to Moto Guzzi because I've been to the factory and I ride one. But given Darcy's recent experience on his channel and many like him, I can't say I would loyally buy a Moto Guzzi just because they have a history and I have been to the factory. I note that Darcy and his old man got all sorts of abuse from Triumph owners for choosing his Royal Enfield. Some took it very personally and unsubscribed. Strange. I would have thought if you had a Triumph Bonneville or a Scrambler, then an Inter, a Bear or a Bullet would have also been to your taste. There are so many great makes and models of motorcycles out there, all different genres, and each one suits someone. And who are we to tell them they shouldn't sell it, or equally should have bought something else? That said, most of my commenters are amazing. I even got one comment that stood out last week from, and I'm not going to try to pronounce this, EROCNW1341. You're a person after my own heart. Thanks for that. You know who you are. Anyway, in a few months, when you see the replacement for the beautiful bike that I'm currently selling, you will likely have to swallow hard, bite your tongue, and count to 10. I know I will. Oh, and the fact that it is the same make has nothing to do with it. Really? Perhaps I'm a hypocrite. Well, I'm sure you'll be the judge. Cheers, Blue Marble Riders, and don't forget to like this video, to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. This is the Blue Marble Rider, out.
Ding, fries are done. They're all running around up there because they think the fries are done. They're not even done. What the hell?